Hello there, fellow NPCs. I am Carbon Scythe, and today we're getting back into Seeds of Chaos. And in the last episode, we got ourselves a secretary. And she wants to be more than a secretary. She wants to be the secretary from the movie Secretary. I think that's what the movie was called. I personally have bad memories of that movie, but whatever. And also, I have decided that I will attack Reeves Keep once I've leveled up to level 2. And so that I have a better chance of surviving once we're done with that and continue the game, you know. So after we're leveled up, I will attack Reeves Keep. So let's try and do that. Also, I want to find a noble woman that the orcs are fighting about, and I want to level up a specific building in the castle. Building part, room, whatever. Yeah, and we need 300 gold for that. I almost got it. But all of those gold set, let's go. Week 15. Nothing here. So, visit Nassim, I guess. Master Blackwell, how can I be of assistance? Leave. Okay, there's nothing there. Okay, good to know. Active research. Historia Rosaria. Yes, and we will get 200 XP when that's completed. So we don't have anything there. Good to know. What about you? Nothing. And nothing here, but it is the castle hall that I want to upgrade. And you don't... Oh, you do have... yeah, we're not doing that, but show event the cake. What else do we have? Nothing here. Oh, right, nothing there. But actually... Spend favor. We shouldn't have any favor, but Cleona did you a service or something. Favors? While Reeves still stands. Don't be ridiculous, Rowan. No, nothing. So just one event so far. Horeo! Oh, for supplies for pottery. After drinking Greyhide's alcohol. Yeah. And that's... nothing here. Nothing. How do you keep on getting equipped? Ah, stop that. Forge mode? No. Yeah. Morale. Huh? Where do you keep getting weapons from? And you don't have anything. No. Exactly. So let's ask her ahead for supplies for pottery. I don't think I want to do that, because I want the other guy, Ulcro. So let's talk about the alcohol, shall we? Hello, friend. After drinking Greyhide's alcohol, Alexa could tell something was wrong the moment the maid laid eyes on her. She hadn't given a thought to her as they passed each other in the hallway. She was just another servant. One of many in this castle, but something was different this time. She seemed to be in a great hurry. The maid stopped shortly just as they caught eyes. There was a flash of recognition, and a nervous smile spread across her face. Ah, there you are. Are you Alexia Blackwell? Yes? Lady Yasera requests your immediate presence. She told me to give this to you. The maid held out a small envelope, sealed in pink wax with a gaudy stamp. Alexa warily took it from her. Did she say why? No, my lady. Only that you were to go see her at once. Freed from her duty, the maid scurried off, undoubtedly relieved to have fulfilled her task. Alexa stared at the envelope for a long moment, then broke the seal. Okay, so I thought for a moment there that this maid had seen her doing nasty stuff with Greyhide. But now I'm instead thinking that Yasera knows she did nasty stuff with Greyhide. Well, they didn't do that nasty stuff. They were just fooling around without doing anything, really. To my dearest Alexia, I hope this letter receives you well. A recent rumor has come to my attention involving you, regarding an incident of the most scandalous nature. I am loath to repeat the slandering of polite company. Needless to say, I am left aghast at the stain upon your honor and integrity that this rumor brings. As such, as your mistress, I feel obligated to intervene on your behalf. You are hereby bidden to come to my quarters at the earliest opportunity, that we might discuss this matter together, and plan a response accordingly. With love, Ysera. What? Alexia could not fathom what Ysera was referring to. Did she somehow think she'd implicated herself in treachery? Had Rowan committed some slight against the twins without her knowing? And she was now implicated? Either way, she could not afford to ignore the summons. Against her better judgment, she rushed to Ysera's private chambers. Rowan was knee-deep in the minutiae of governing a castle when there was a knock on the door. Rowan lifted his eyes to see his elven aide slide through the entryway with an apologetic smile on her face. What is it, L'Oreal? Lord Ysera told me to bring you this. Oh, no! Holy shit! That is bad. It's one thing if Ysera is poking fun at one of us, but if she is trying to get us both together with Greyhide. Oh shit! That is manipulation mastery level 100. Lord Ysera told me to bring you this. She held out in her hand a small envelope, sealed in pink wax with Ysera's personal stamp. Rowan rose from his seat and took the thing from her grasp. Why didn't she just call me instead? I couldn't even begin to imagine Rowan. The hero Rosario suppressed a frown as he slit open the envelope and read the small note's contents. His brow lowered. I've been summoned to her chambers. For what purpose? Ostensibly for tea. She needed a note for that? No, something's wrong. See to my affairs while I'm out. I shouldn't be long. The moment he stepped through the door, Rowan knew something was afoot. Ah, there you are. I was wondering when you'd show up. Rowan. Rowan's eyes went from the demon to his wife, to the assorted tea set sitting between them on a small end table around which they sat. His expression hardened. What is the meaning of this? Sit down, hero. We have something to discuss. Alexia's eyes were wide with shock. She had not been expecting his appearance, nor he hers. Rowan's mind erased with the implication as he warily took a seat next to his wife. How is our marriage going to survive this? Ysera, for her part, eyed the two from behind her teacup as she took a deep sip. Her expression was grave, her lips narrow. Drink, some tea will calm your nerves. I'm not thirsty. And I say you are. Drink. Rowan sighed, taking the veiled threat for what it was. He and Alexia both reluctantly raised them to their lips. Rowan took a swift gulp from his cup, while Alexia worriedly sipped a few times at her own. So, have you anything to say for yourselves? Rowan and Alexia shared a look. Both of their expressions were blank with incomprehension. Whatever treason she thought they were conspiring about behind her back was not the one they had vocalized aloud to one another. No. No, my lady. In the midst of Ysera's menacing stare, Rowan could have sworn he saw a triumphant twinkle enter her eye. Indeed, nothing at all? How curious. What's this about, Ysera? Yera's eyes were guarded, her expression inscrutable. She seemed to be struggling to avoid showing her true emotions. All will be made clearer momentarily. We are still waiting on the final member of this conspiracy to arrive. Oh no! You absolute monster! Is she gonna have us put on a show? Oh no! Conspiracy. A chill went up Rowan's spine at the word. He glanced down at the table and saw a third teacup waiting for its owner. He shared a brief glance with his wife. There was a heavy knock at the door. A gruff voice spoke through it. Hello? You summoned me? Ah, right on time. Please come in. The door swung open, and in a flash Rowan was struck with a complete, terrifying clarity as to Ysera's true purpose. Greyhide! The bull's eyes went out wide as they took in the scope of the room. His eyes darted back and forth between Rowan, Alexia, and Ysera. The Minotaur hesitated. Well, don't keep us waiting. Have a seat! The Minotaur did as he was bid, shuffling over to a spot on the couch next to Alexia and plopping himself down with a loud thud against the cushions. Avail yourself of my tea while you're here. It's a brew I'm sure you'll recognize. I had it delivered specifically from the Dragon's Tail. The Minotaur pointedly avoided looking at either of his companions as he took the tiny teacup and knocked it back like it was a shot. Ysera, knowing a smile, widened. Oh, yes, you did lace it. Aye. So, you're all here. I'm sure you're wondering as to what the purpose I would invite you to such an intimate audience. Oh, I done something wrong? Rowan had never heard Greyhide's voice sound so weak and wavering before. Ysera's eye drifted to him. Not at all. I think congratulations are in order. My little experiment went far better than I have ever expected it to. What are you talking about? Did she open her mouth? No, it was always like that. On Alexia. You of all people should know better than to ask that question, Rowan. Oh, that's unfortunate. They messed up the lines. You see, after I heard about you and Greyhide's little drunken escapade up on the castle wall, a niggling little thought entered my mind. What if... Ysera, stop. There was more to it than mere friendship. Alexia's face went pale. Her eyes widened as she seemed to realize what was happening. Greyhide, you've hardly said a word since you've arrived. Have you nothing to say for yourself? I do hope you enjoy the latest shipment of red heart moss. It was quite the inconvenience for me to acquire. The bull's eyes went wide. Alas, I must admit to providing you with a subpar material for your latest batch. It seems something extra was added to the brew. How did that fireground taste, by the way? I hear it's quite delicious. You did this. You made me. I did nothing but provide you the means with which to release your inhibitions. What you chose to do after that was entirely your doing. She allowed herself at least to reveal the triumphant grin she'd been hiding this whole time. A dark, malicious smile that spread across her lips. And goodness, did you not disappoint? Dear me, what a delightful disaster this has developed into. I expected an amusing distraction, but never in my wildest dream did I think you'd both partake in such debauchery. And there we have it. The world stopped. Rowan turned his stunned gaze towards Alexia, who returned it to him. The bottom dropped out of his stomach. I wonder which of your mouths Greyhide found more pleasing against his. Greyhide slammed his clenched fist against the table so hard it nearly upended, bending the wood from the force of the blow. The chinaware rattled in place. Enough! The bull rose in a rush from his seat, nearly flipping the table over as he did so. A storm cloud brewed across his brow. Enough! I have felt only shame since it happened. Lost sleep, lost my wits. My pride is nothing. I gave it up long ago. But you drugged us. You made me harm my friends. I made you do nothing. I merely peeled away your veneer. Under all that gruff posturing, you really are just a horny beast, aren't you? Greyhide was shaking with rage. His large eyes blazed, glaring down at the demon with a wordless fury. They would have never. I am to blame, not them. Ysera watched the bull's anger play out before her with a blank expression. She coolly sipped at her tea before gently setting the cup down onto her table. You think I brought you three to my chambers to humiliate you? Quite the contrary. I live for dalliances such as these. What a story. What an unlikely union. I did not summon you to gloat. I brought you here to sell things. How? How could you possibly sell things after what you've done to us? Did you enjoy your tea, Rowan? Yep. Rowan stopped dead, his head tilted down in horror towards the half-empty cup. The demon's mocking laughter echoed dully in his ears. He hadn't even realized in all the commotion, but his cheeks were flushed. His body was burning up. He glanced over to Alexia and saw that she was visibly squirming on the couch. Firegrite is such a hardy drink. It is difficult to get the right mixture. I'd wonder if it had diluted it too much. Tea is much easier. I made sure to give you each a triple dose this time, just to be sure. Assuming I timed it right, the effects should be making themselves known any moment now. You want to settle your differences? Here's your chance. Let's see what your true feelings are on the matter. No. His teeth clenched, his toned body curled tight like a spring. He looked ready to throw himself at Ysera, but instead he let out a frustrated bellow, without waiting for a response. Greyhide fled the room, nearly trampling them over in his haste to escape. Greyhide! Greyhide! Their voices were as if one. Despite the difficulty with which it had become to think clearly, they were united in their concern for him. We have to go after him, Rowan. The words struggled out of her lips as though she were fighting against them. Her face was flushed, her eyes fluttering. It was a little better for Rowan. The fluffy pink clouds had descended once more over the upper limits of his mind. It was getting hard to think clearly. Follow Greyhide back to his forge or wait till the drug wears off. No, here's the thing. Me, furry. Me, monster fucker. Me, go after Greyhide. I would have, well, guys, it's not really my thing, but, monster fucker. It was all too much to process. Had Rowan been in his right mind, he may have recognized the ploy for what it was. As it was, however, the very thought that he and his wife had both had Greyhide merely excited him. We have to go see him. Now. You're right. Well, what are you waiting for? After him, you lovebirds! Rowan turned back to face the smirking demon one last time, doing his best to formulate an angry scowl. It ended up looking more like a lecherous leer. Her tits were amazing! We'll speak of this later. Ysera giggled, hiding a smile behind her hand. Her eyes danced dangerous circles as they looked from wife to husband. Have fun, you two! Together, the two lust-addled lovers beat a hasty path to Greyhide's chamber, all but sprinting to reach him. Ysera had not been idle in her claims of drugging them. By the time they threw open the door to the forge, Rowan was trembling from how painfully erect he was. Alexia was having trouble walking straight. They burst into the room and stopped dead at the shocking sight. Is he beating his mate? Greyhide, utterly nude, furiously with the desperation of a drowning man. His face was clenched, his eyes glazed with rutting need. His head snapped around and the three stood in sudden silence. Their eyes locked to one another, words escaped them all. Whatever they'd been about to say, whatever heartfelt conversation regarding what had happened between them might have been intended, it dropped away in an instant. They were like animals, they just needed. Rowan catches eyes with Greyhide. Alexia feels the Minotaur's gaze turn to her. Ow! That's interesting. I thought it was going to be a threesome sort of thing. But no, as I said, monster fucker. A grumbling roar erupted from Greyhide's maw. He pivoted sharply on his hooves, bending forward like a predator stalking prey. With a speed that shocked Rowan to his core, Greyhide leapt clean over his workbench, scooping up Alexia in his hands. Neither made any attempt to stop him as he carried her, growling, to his bed. And yeah, I guess I will be seeing you guys real soon. That's strange. We barely saw anything. Kinda disappointed, to be honest. I guess we just have to continue their little story, but yeah, if you want to see that, you're gonna have to go over to SpicyGaming and see it for yourself. Well, yeah, now let's continue. Time passed in an interminable haze. Rowan had no idea when it ended, but when he awoke, he was stricken with a splitting headache. And yeah, also, I chose to completely ignore Rowan. I thought it was necessary for both of them to enjoy it, but yeah, I don't think so now. It was late morning on the next day. Alexia lay next to him, groggy and half-conscious. Alexia? Ah! What? I'm awake, She trailed off. The couple stared into one another's eyes, having finally escaped the muddling effects of Ysera's tea. If this turns out that he is upset for this, I'm actually gonna be angry. Her face filled with color. The sight of her husband, sober and full aware, caused her to lift her covers over her lips to hide the terrified frown she was wearing. Rowan, I'm so... Greyhide, huh? Rowan, that drug, it made me... This is a... But you were also part of it. Do you have to take part of it to be able to take part of it? Let's leave it be for now. I need time to process everything that just happened. No! What the fuck? I want you all to be happy together. Am I? Actually, I'll see you guys real soon. Oh. Now we're talking! Okay, I see. I messed up last time. Now, let's try this again. As I saw in the reaction, I like this outcome much better because it wasn't one and done. It was one and done, one more time. Let's go. Third time is the charm and all things like that. So now, let's see how things end up. Properly this time. I'm going to be upset if they are still angry. You know? Let's go. Time passed in an interminable haze. Rowan had no idea when it ended, but when he awoke, he was stricken with a splitting headache. Exactly the same. It was late morning on the next day. Alexia lay next to him, groggy and half-conscious. Alexia? Ah! What? I'm awake, She trailed off. The couple stared into another's eyes, having finally escaped the muddling effects of Ysera's tea. This new state of confusion was little better than the haze they've escaped from. For a long moment, the two simply stared at one another. Go on! Be happy with this! Did we? Rowan nodded, swallowing the thick lump in his throat, as he and his wife shared in their mutual bafflement. Okay, so that thick lump in his throat is not what you think it is. It's just feeling guilty, okay? It's not Minotaur. They're both the Minotaur together. Should they feel angry, betrayed, excited? What even was the line in this relationship anymore? And behind it all, there was the niggling knowledge that things would never quite be the same. For them or for their friend, lover, Greyhide. We need to find Greyhide. We need to talk about what happened. Goddess only knows what he thinks of all this. Ysera. Rowan practically spat fire as he said her name. Alexia's brow hardened. She's taking it too far this time. We have to be careful, Rowan. She's still the lady of this castle. Let's find Greyhide first. Then we can see about Ysera. He's not here. Where could he have gone? I think I have an idea. Find him then, and bring him to Ysera's chamber at once. What about you? I'm going to talk to her myself. Rowan, go. If you're quick, you can both meet me there. Rowan would brook no arguments. His enraged expression gave even his wife pause. After a moment's hesitation, she did as she was bidden, making for the front of the castle after Rowan turned towards Ysera's chambers. Ysera! Ah, my hero returns. How was your evening? What the hell are you trying to prove? Hardly the thanks I was expecting from you. You should be thanking me. I helped your friendship blossom into something so much greater. At cost of my marriage? You know, I don't recall either of you complaining at the moment. Because you drugged us! I released you and your trio from your prior preconceptions. Evidently, you three are more open to the idea than you thought. If we want to tumble with someone, that's our business. Dear me, and here I thought we understood each other. You are my servants. You will do as I please, and you certainly will not mouth off to me. You may feel however you wish about the situation at hand, but you will not scold me in my own chambers just because you got your knickers in a twist. If I were you, I'd look to Greyhide, not me, for answers. This will be the last time we speak of this affair. It is done. I've had my fun. Now you're just starting to bore me. She shot a seething Rowan one last glare, to which he responded with silence. Then Ysera turned and waved him off in an indignant huff. Away with you now. As Rowan stomped out of the room, you could just hear the demon mutter under her breath. Ungrateful gits. Alexia found him where she knew he had fled to the one place in the forest where the Minotaur could have gone. Clearing the branches, she came upon the clearing where they had first met. There Greyhide sat, slumped forward on a dead log with his head in his hands. He had been there for hours, dew collecting in his fur and dripped silently off the tips of his horns. Despite everything that had happened, despite the anger burning in Alexia's breast, she could not bring herself to be mad at the gentle giant. He was, after all, as much a victim as they had been. Greyhide? He lifted his head, his heavy-lidded eyes matching with Alexia's. He let out a low whine, his voice cracking as he purposefully turned his head away from her. Please, let me be. But I will trouble you no more. Let me be. It is for the best. His voice was slow as he almost sounded drunk. He wore the body language of a defeated man heavy around his shoulders. I am sorry. Please go. Rowan and I wanted you to. Go. He turned his head to the rising sun peeking its head through the foliage, pretending for all the world like Alexia wasn't there. After a long moment she turned away, leaving the melancholic Minotaur alone in the clearing. The chirping of birds was the only sound that could be heard for miles around. Oh, it just split ends there. That's mean. Ha, I see. Yeah, okay. And then we had... yeah, here, the cake. Right. That's all we had. Dude, I did not expect this episode to completely... for one event as well. Last episode it was all about L'Oreal, the elf. And now it was all about Greyhide the Minotaur. But yeah, things are developing in this community. But yeah, so that will be the end of today's episode. I was expecting more things to happen, but this is fine, I guess. These sort of things happen sometimes. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and thank you Josef for donating directly to my Ko-fi page. If you guys want to help me out, you can do so by clicking the link down in the description. I'll see you guys in the next one, and remember, just because you're not the main character, it does not mean you're not important. Goodbye everyone.